Hello and welcome to my archaeological site. This is our last day on site for a while, possibly ever. Too complicated to explain why. So I thought I'd take you through it. This is the second side. We did the first side, which you can see the other side of the spoil heap there, in 2 weeks. And this is now the end of the 4th week for us being on this second side. So let me explain what we've got here. This is you can see that into the chalk has been cut a pit with a flat floor. So this is probably a cellar, but not one of the better ones. Moving along, we have some unusual marks on the ground, but you can't really see them. Here you have a very nice wall dividing two things, probably more building work. Coming up, we get to the most interesting area on the site, which is my area, and as you can see, the hill slopes down, and this is what I dug first, this very deep hole, but more excitingly, next to it, you can see cut by the hole is a hearth. That's the first hearth, and then here's a second one, and we think that this was probably for making bread, since we know from records that there was a baker around about this location. Then we've got a couple of, that's a modern pit, well, 18th century, cutting through everything, as is this one. And down here we've got a wall that has fallen into a pit. We're not really sure about that, but it's a nice wall, but we don't know how it managed to end up in a pit. And then coming along, we can see the terracing work they've done to level this area. This we think might be some sort of drainage ditch to keep water flowing down from the slope away. This is the terrace cut, and it's got a post hole in the corner there, and there's another post hole there, and another one in the middle, and another one there. These are probably to do with structures. So this is my area that I've been looking at, which took a very long time to dig, and you can see that they put this very nice flint wall up to maintain the terrace cut. Okay, so at the moment we're up at the top of the site, and these are the remains of some of the medieval cellars. You can see that that's the rubbish, that the chalk rubble that's laying on top of part of the cellar that is moving into this section, so we can't see that. As you can see, there's a strange hole there, unusual, and this big hole in the cellar is a modern cut from the 1970s, 1980s. Very nice, done by digger. You can even see the marks of the digger blade coming down through it, which is very nice. And that's the rendered wall they put at the end of the cellar, very nice and flat. And here is another cellar, you can see, and it's a series of cellars all the way down the hill. We have a well here. As you can see, we've done a really bang up job of making sure nobody falls down it. We think these could be at least 30 meters deep, because that's where the water table is, so that's a pretty deep wall. And if we come over this way, we have another well underneath there. They did seem to like their water. And there are all sorts of strange pits all over the place. And as you can see, these are the back gardens of the properties with the wells. And we think a lot of these pits are to do with chalk quarrying, and then later filled up with rubbish. Although, to be honest, we're not certain why they're quarrying the chalk. I mean, it could be for lime making, for changing the alkalinity or acidity of fields for farming, stuff like that. And on our last day here, we have, under this sheet, we have it's a horse skeleton and a burial, and you can see they've built a nice little horse-shaped pit for it, so that's a little bit odd. But as you can see, there are lots and lots of large pits that we're not at the bottom because of safety reasons. And that's our archaeological site.